Welcome to the Automotive Diagnostic Podcast. We're going to explore ways to sharpen our diagnostic skills, find learning resources, and hear from experts in the automotive field. We have got Auto Rescue Tools and Isaac Rodell as a sponsor for this podcast. Hey guys, if you're looking for programming laptops, you want the laptop set up ready to go for programming control modules on vehicles, you need key cutting equipment, you need diagnostic tools, Isaac is your guy. Has all that stuff available for purchase, and the support that he offers along with the purchase has been outstanding. I bought some stuff from him in the past. I got my Dolphin key cutting tool from him several years back. And again, the support has been phenomenal. Helped me out along the way with anything additional I needed to make it work for me. So make sure to check that out as well. Again, that's autorescuetools.com. The link will be in the show notes. This episode is brought to you by L1 Automotive Training and Keith Perkins. If you're looking for education on module programming, J2534, EEPROM work, key and immobilizer, electrical diagnostics, or drivability diagnostics, Keith has a website, l1training.com, that's got over 60 hours of training videos on all those subjects and more. When I first started out doing mobile, I utilized Keith's videos on module programming in J2534 in order to get my head wrapped around what I would need for the tooling, the computers, the software setups, what kind of obstacles I would be up against when I'm out there programming modules on cars. And it was a huge benefit to me. And I continue to use the training videos that he has on his website. So I strongly recommend checking out l1training.com. Hey, what's going on, automotive world? Welcome to another episode of the Automotive Diagnostic Podcast. My name is Sean Tipping, and I'll be your host once again for today's episode. Thank you so much for joining me. Today on the show, I've got a guest joining me, Ali Hameed. Ali is a mobile technician down in Texas, and he's going to share with us his story of coming to America. He's originally from Iraq. He was a translator for the Army, moved here, and eventually got a mobile business going down in Texas. And we're going to hear the story. Ali's a good friend of mine, super smart guy, super kind, and really interesting. So I enjoyed this quite a bit. I know you will as well. With that out of the way, let's jump into the episode. All right, Ali, how's it going?
Good. How are you, sir?
I'm doing well. I got my butt kicked today, and I guess I really have been all week, but it's part of the gig. So
what was it?
What wasn't it? I'm fighting a Subaru eyesight calibration that I'm having zero luck with. And just on top of that, it seems like everything I touch this week has just turned to crap. I've got these Ford F550 BCMs that I've been fighting with. And I think I kind of have them figured out because I've had three in the last week. 2012 to 14. They were all in that range.
Okay. Are you using IDS or are you cloning?
Combination of all of the Ford tools that I have, right? So I've got the IO terminal that'll do some of the BCM stuff, Forescan, and then IDS. And it really took a kind of a combination to make these things work because the as-built data on Ford server is just wrong. It's completely wrong. And so you have to pull it off of the original, and IDS won't do it correctly. It ends up putting in these corrupted values, and you get these really weird problems if you try to do it the OE way. And these are brand new BCMs from Ford. Now, one of them, according to IDS, the part number is wrong. And it is an updated part number is what Ford said. according to their, parts catalog, it's superseded the one that was in there, but IDS kicks it back. So you can't do the PMI, and there's a portion of the PMI, something in there has to be done in order for it to satisfy a configuration code. Like it won't clear
I've
that
had
out.
that before, and the only thing that I did at that time, I think I told the customer to return the part back, and we looked up the same part number on eBay. We found one new on eBay, and we bought it, and it was good to go.
Yeah, the shop ended up finding a used one, and we were pretty much able to just do a one for one clone on that thing. But
Yeah.
yeah, a lot of screwing around, and the keys were fighting me too, and so it's been a fun week. It's just the way it goes doing this mobile thing,
I
though,
guess
you
when you
know.
had, yeah, when you had that Subaru, you probably thought of, you know what, is it time to rent a shop? Do you think a part
Well,
of it you're doing it mobile?
it's one of the things that I'm definitely considering is the environment. And I've tried several different positions within this shop, but they only have so many options for
Yeah.
where this vehicle can be placed. And so, I was talking to Matt Fonslow today. I'm like, the frustrating part about this is that it's very difficult for me to remove a variable with certainty, right? Like I can say, well, I think it's the lighting. Let me change
Yeah.
the lighting, but did I fix it? I don't know. I told them to put in OE glass because they had aftermarket glass in there. They did. It's the
Yeah.
same error. And and then Matt comes back. He's like, "Well, I had one that had bad OE glass." I'm like, "Oh, come on, man! Like I thought I eliminated that." Um,
Yeah, I wish if there was like a live data where or like parameters where like yes and no, where like a list you can go with a scan tool and look at it. They'll make it
yeah,
so easy. And I don't think it's hard to make, honestly. I don't think it's hard for the manufacturer. Like, look, we got all the way to, if you want live data and um um doing testing on equipment on modules and cars. I don't think like making a list of, hey, this is what you want to have all yeses in order to do the calibration. I don't know why
right.
they don't do it.
Yeah, well, I think it'd be awesome, especially with these camera systems. I just want to plug something in and see what the camera sees. Like, why is it not seeing my target? Like, is there some sort of distortion? Is there some sort of weird glare that I'm not seeing? Just
Yeah,
let me plug in with my, I don't know, my tablet or my phone or something, and see the camera view, but they don't have anything like that. So,
yeah. That's the main reason why I got a shop. I
okay.
Yeah, it was for the ADAS, strictly for the ADAS. And then you have a shop, why not? So
Yeah.
like we were talking about it today, parasitic drain. I don't do them at the customer's location anymore. They have to drop it, either that or, find somebody else, or some other really complicated cases where I need time. Uh, I need to focus. I know you like music around you when you work. I don't. I need
Sure.
I need I need quietness. So yeah, I tell them to drop it. Usually I tell them, hey, you have to give me time. I don't want you to call me ever about the car. Next time I'll call you about it with updates. So those, yeah, I bring them. Plus the local people, like if they want to bring it to the shop, yeah, why not?
Okay.
But it
Okay.
helps. It helps a lot with your scheduling. Like this is how I do it. Like one day I'll do all mobile, and then probably 2, 3 days, the whole day in the shop. Or probably I'll
Okay.
go do programming in the morning and then go back to finish the rest at the shop. It
How,
helps a lot.
how big of a shop is it?
1,500 square feet.
Okay. You
Yeah.
got lifts in there and everything?
Yeah, the old tenant was a customer, so when he was about to leave, I bought the compressor and the lift and a little office that I took down from him.
Nice.
Yeah, it helped. The lift helped a lot.
Oh yeah. I can only imagine. Yeah, not having a.
But earlier you were talking, but it's like my shop is long ways, so I have one door, right? So when I
Mm,
do the cameras or the radars, I back up the vehicle. I make it facing the front of the shop. So with cameras, I adjust lighting by lowering the gate. Sometimes I have to go
Oh,
all the way, yeah, and I have two switches for lightings, two zones for lightings. That's how I adjust the lighting for the camera, and it never failed, never failed. Probably one time that I didn't close the gate all the way down, and it failed because of lightings. Other than that, and with the radars is the opposite. I just opened the metal gate because it would interfere with the target.
okay, okay. Yeah, I had I was doing a round view calibration for a Hyundai today, and I was fighting the lighting in the shop because they had this big bay door open, and the sun wasn't even shining in. It wasn't on that side of the shop, but there was just enough of a glare on the mats when they were
Yeah.
laying on the floor that it couldn't see it. So we tried closing the door, but it's the door is just all glass panels, so
Oh, nice.
it didn't change it at all. So I had to set
Yeah.
up like cardboard pieces on the garage door in order for it to get the glare away. But yeah, stuff like that's been interesting to kind of figure out. But like you say, yeah, having a dedicated space that you know is going to work for the environment of these things, that would be huge. So now you got me
Yeah,
thinking.
I'm I'm planning hopefully to find somebody, a helper, not a tech, a
Mm,
helper that would pick up and drop off vehicles for ADAS calibration.
okay.
Reason why there's a lot of competition around me and prices are ridiculous. People do like glass people do ADAS jobs for 200, 250, 300. So I'm thinking to provide convenience rather than drop the price. You understand what I'm
Sure.
saying?
Yeah.
And I think it would. Everybody I talk to, they say it's a great idea. They would even go with me, even if they have to pay more. So we'll see
You're
how it
uh,
goes.
you're down in Texas, right? What part of Texas?
Yeah, near Dallas.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
a little town called Kennedale.
Okay. How
Yeah,
long you been there?
2 years.
Okay.
Originally from Philadelphia.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
moved to Texas 2 years ago.
Little bit of a weather change there, huh?
Yeah, yeah, I know. I mean, if you look at it, I'm originally from the Middle East, so it's like I'm going back to my roots here in
It's more at
Texas.
home, yeah.
Yeah, when uh, when I was about to come to the States, my anchor, who it's like a sponsor, but they call it an anchor because he doesn't pay anything. My anchor was in Philadelphia, so I was like, okay, so I'm going to Philadelphia. I haven't heard anything about it. Let me Google it. So I Googled it. I read a little bit about it, and then I was like, let me go pictures. And so what I see the pictures, the first pictures that pop is the snow. I was like, no, I'm moving to California. But when I came to Philadelphia, and the first time it snowed, I think I arrived on August. But the first winter, like around Christmas, oh my God, like the spirits and actually when it snowed, it's not cold. It's warm. It's after the snow. That's when it gets cold, you know?
Yeah,
So I
right.
liked it. I really liked it. Well, I stayed there since 2009 till 2 years ago.
Awesome. So, okay, so you moved over to the States from Iraq. How old were you at that point?
Yeah.
What was the reason for moving here?
Oh,
What drew you this way?
I worked as an interpreter with the troops for about 5 years, from 2003, from the war, like a week after the war. I'm probably the first local national that was hired as an interpreter.
Okay.
Yeah, I worked between 2003, 2008, 2008, 2009 as an interpreter with the troops. I worked for uh, like private companies in the green zone, and then I worked as an interpreter also slash officer in a anti-terrorism unit.
Okay.
That's the last job that I did for the U.S. Government in Iraq. So we were like wanted over there. Like our names was because we're the people that helped the invader, whatever you want to call
Hmm.
it,
I see.
to
Okay.
yeah. So everybody was looking for us. They wanted. I got shot at, I got blown up, I got
Oh, jeez.
displaced from from home for like 3, 4 times. Um, we didn't own a house. We rented all the time. Um, my cousin got killed. My other cousin, she got kidnapped. They asked for a ransom, and then we didn't hear anything about her.
Oh man.
At that time, the government, U.S. government, preferred to hire people that have relatives already working for the coalition forces, and so it was automatic for me to, my brothers, my cousins, and get everybody involved. The pay was good, and in 2003, 2004, it wasn't as bad as it got after 2005 with the sectarian violence. But
Mm.
yeah, I know Americans, 2003, they used to come and just take the bus and go in Baghdad and just go shopping, do whatever. But after that, no, it got ugly. So then the US government in 2008, I think they approved what's called SIV, Special Immigration Visa, for those that help the troops in Iraq and Afghanistan.
Okay.
And I applied for it, and I was overqualified because they needed 12 months and I had 5 years. So I got accepted. Like I was number 67 out of 5,000 every year they had for that. And
Wow.
my plan was to come here, honestly. I looked at it financially. My plan was to come here to have a plan B, of course, to escape if anything is going to happen. Plus, at that time, I had the chance to apply for my whole family to come here. But
I was
I
just gonna
wanted,
ask about that. Yeah.
yeah, I wanted to go back then because they used to pay local nationals. Look at it this way, probably local national pay is tenth what a US citizen or green card holder would pay. So I was like, you know what, let me go get my green card in 1 month and come back to Iraq. But the problem is Obama got elected at that time. And the
Okay.
first thing he did, he withdrew most of the troops from Iraq. So companies over there were not taking green card holders anymore. They were taking only US citizens. I'm like, okay, so I'm in the States. Let me find something to do. And what else? I mean, I was doing translation, so I found a job in the University of Pennsylvania to do annotation, translation, projects for Google and some other companies. And I really wanted to finish my master's and my PhD in the University of Pennsylvania, but the problem is fund. I didn't have no money. So
uh,
my plan was to stay there as a part-timer as long as I can until uh, they have a position, to hire full-time.
mm-hmm.
And remember, we're still 2008, 2009. The economy is really bad.
Yeah, it's a rough time.
Nobody had positions for anything. But after I think 2 years, 3 years, they had a position, and I think 30 people applied for that position, including myself. We got interviewed, and again, they dropped the position because of the funding. But unfortunately, I got received an email from like the manager over there, whatever she was, and she said I was the person that got chosen for the for the position, but unfortunately, because of funding, they had to drop it.
Oh.
That really like put a dent in me, because
Yeah.
that was the door for me to finish what I had planned. And that's when I said, you know what, that's it. I'm not staying one day over there anymore. So I
Okay.
quit and I started looking for a job. And ironically, I had a Volkswagen Passat at that time, 2000 Volkswagen Passat that had a check engine light that I was trying so hard. Now, we're talking about a guy that never changed a battery of a car in his whole life.
Okay.
I went to dollar store and I bought $20 or $25 Chinese kit, like has some wrenches and some screwdrivers that you use them one time
Sure.
and they break. And I started going Saturday, Sunday, I don't have any work, so I go to the junkyard. So me going and because I suck at it, I don't have money to take it to a mechanic. And so again, I suck, so I have to go more than one time and open more, throw at it more than one port to see if I can
Sure.
fix the check engine light. And me going over there, a lot of times you know, just saying hi to people, be nice to them. And so when I quit from the university, I was there one weekend and I was talking to that junkyard owner, and he was like, "Oh, so you quit?" I was like, "Yeah, I quit. I'm looking for a job, temporary
Uh-huh.
job." He said, "Well, I'm looking for somebody that, does mail and, dispatch." I was like, "Okay, I'll take the job. I need
Hmm.
the money." I ended up staying with him for 8 years.
Okay.
That's not okay. I was looking for a temporary job, but I liked what was going on in the junkyard. I knew it's the same feeling that I felt when I got introduced to doing elevators. I did elevators for about 9 years or 10 years, I think, back in Iraq. And
Okay.
that was the same feeling, it's a new field. You know nothing about it. Cars was the same thing. New field, you know nothing about it. Um, Let me put it this way. I started working for the dude. We were paying what was it? 25? 25? No, 2,500 a month rent. When I quit, he bought the whole property for $4 million.
Oh, wow.
There was a lot going on in that junkyard and a lot changed. Um, yeah, so we used to buy 30 cars every day. That
Okay.
was
Yeah,
our
that's
average,
wild.
20, 30 cars every day. We had
Wow.
six tow trucks, and out of those 20, 30 cars every day, so many of them, I ask them, what's wrong with it? I used to be dispatch. I used to try to, whatever makes the money. So
Hmm.
we ask them what's wrong with it. They say, well, engine locked. And then when we get there, we just cut the alternator belt and the car runs on drive.
Sure.
AC compressors jam. So we started developing it from scrap yards to parts to fixing vehicles and sell them to a lot of things, a lot of departments we started opening in that junkyard. I mean,
Okay.
imagine we used to rent a small portion of it. He ended up buying it for $4 million. So
Yeah, that's crazy.
yeah, it
Wow.
is. It is. That's how I got introduced to automotive. Again,
Okay.
I never knew anything about it, but I really liked it. I started watching because a part of it wasn't my job, but I wanted to do it myself. I used to sell engines and transmissions on eBay, and I wanted to compression test every engine and write them down and put them in my listing on eBay. So I had to watch videos. I had to learn how things work. Um, in order to be able to have answers to all these questions that I have. That's how I know Scanner Danner and all the other good, big names. Started
Sure.
following these, and then when a Snap-on truck stops outside, you cannot help it. Like everybody's buying. Well, what's wrong with you, man? I started
Yeah.
buying, some stuff. I found a Snap-on Veris Pro. It was outdated. I updated it and bought a Autel 906 TS. I had some stuff to play around with to use them.
Yeah.
Yeah, until COVID hit. That was when my wife we just had a baby, so I told the owner, I was like, listen, I don't want to bring COVID to my family, so I'm gonna take a break. He
Hmm.
was gonna let like three guys to go because of the economy. I'm
Yeah.
like, no, let me go because I know my pay is more than these guys. So leave them, let them stay working, and I can go. And even if I'm at home, I can still help over the phone. I just don't want to bring complications to the family.
Right.
And that's when I started, just going to friends and family and checking their cars. I had some cars to sell also on the side. I was working on them. I was never a company when I was in Philadelphia.
Okay.
That's so we were I was at home for like a year, a little over a year. So we decided now we have kids in Philadelphia. Unfortunately, it wasn't that great city for to raise your kids anymore. So
Mm.
we decided to move to Texas. We had other families, friends, they moved here to Texas and they like it. So it was like, you know what? Let's go spend COVID over there. If we like it, we stay. We don't like it, we just go back. I know
Mm-hmm.
the dude, he's gonna take me whenever I go back, he's gonna take me. And he understood, he was supportive.
Okay.
That's when we moved here. And again, I was honestly, when we moved here, I was looking to open a junkyard. Another
Oh,
Eric O,
okay.
huh?
Sure,
I was,
sure.
yeah. I wanted to open a junkyard, but I didn't have the funds to do that. Because I know every little detail about a junkyard, how to run a junkyard successfully, how to sell the parts, what breaks in the cars, and
Yeah, how
so
do you even start one? Like, you just have to buy a bunch of broken cars at one time, or
yeah,
I guess I
yeah,
don't even know how
yeah,
they
yeah.
begin.
There's city auctions. There's the Copart IA. There's you just make advertisement in the local newspapers and you just buy cars. And
Okay.
believe it or not, in Philadelphia, like the main source of our cars were coming from a guy that used to sit at home and he has 5 or 6 ads in newspapers and online, and people just call him and he refer the car to us and we pay him 25 or $50, depends on how many Cadillac converter the car has.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but that didn't work because it needs a lot of money. Plus, here in Texas, they making it hard for the people to start anything with automotive. I don't know why.
Hmm.
Like in Arlington, the city that I live in, they don't if you have a an auto sales
Mm-hmm.
license and expires, they don't renew it for you anymore. You
Huh.
have to find somewhere else. Yeah, some people
Wow.
say it has something to do with the World Cup because the stadium here is going to be hosting some of the games for the World Cup. I don't think so. I don't think so. I
Hmm.
think because automotive businesses, especially car dealers, a lot of them they deal with a lot of cash, and so the city is not making any taxes from them.
Oh,
And there's a
okay.
lot of them, and it's bringing a bad reputation to, especially with all the theft and
Yeah.
and and
Well, I know.
a lot of people getting killed because of a car. I don't know
Yeah.
how is it over there, but here it happened. I had a customer actually. He went to repo a car. He got killed, unfortunately. He
Ugh.
was a good customer too.
Yikes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess I'm pretty lucky. I'm near the Twin Cities, and there's some parts of the cities down there that aren't the greatest, but I'm a little bit outside. I'm in the suburbs and the rural areas around, and so I've been pretty lucky with that side of things. But yeah, like one of our friends a couple years back, he was out doing key job and had a gun pulled on him and stuff. So yeah, it makes you think, especially when you get diving into keys and anti-theft
It's
stuff for
happening every day
vehicles.
in Philadelphia. Every day it's happening
Ah,
every day in Philadelphia. I have key guys, friends, still friends in Philadelphia. The other day, he came with his dad and his brother because there are like 4 or 5 families over there. They all came here. They were trying to see what's going on here. They all want to move because they kidnapped his brother. They took all his inventory and they wanted his brother to make a key for that Dodge Challenger, and his brother was smart. He was like, "I don't have the tool to do it. My brother does." So when he called him, he gave him a hint in Arabic on the phone. They
oh,
told him, "Call your brother, let him come right now." So he gave him a hint in Arabic, and the dude called the police, and the police went with him, and yeah, it was ugly. And then
wow.
a couple of teenagers pull a gun on him. They took his 608. It's ridiculous. I mean, it's falling apart, the city over there. 2 days
Wow.
ago, they stole my sister-in-law 2017 CRV, and last
Jeez.
week Last week they stole the rims of my brother-in-law. He had a 2018 Honda Accord. And I
Oh
keep telling
man.
them to move out, but people don't listen.
Yeah. The Kias and Hyundais have been a big deal around here as there was
The
a good
Cadillac
stretch of
converters are
time.
expensive. The CRVs and the Priuses are the most expensive among all cars.
Okay.
Honda in general, but I know the CRV at that time, CRV was big money. CRV and the Prius is the most expensive. I think they got up to 1,500
For
for
one cat.
just a Cadillac converter. Yeah, if it's original. If it's
Wow.
aftermarket, they don't pay you $100.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wonder why. Yeah, I can't believe how many all keys lost that I've done for Kia Hyundai stuff, and it's been tough to get some of the keys because they're so common for those
You
things
know
to be
there's a
getting
lawsuit
stolen.
going on them in New
Yeah,
York, right? Yeah.
yeah. I know they're doing push button, or they're putting in anti theft.
Yeah, 23s and up. Yeah, all of them. There's no more. I
Yeah,
don't think there's no more bladed, no anymore.
yeah. That's absolutely crazy. Again, I feel lucky where I'm at. I'm in a town of like 1,100 people, so it's very quiet up here. Which I enjoy quite a bit. But yeah, I'm down in the city sometimes. And you see that. There was actually one of the shops I service. It's attached to a gas station,
Uh-huh.
and somebody took their vehicle, or it might have been a stolen vehicle, but they rammed it through the front doors of the gas station while it was closed, and then went into the shop area, took all the keys, and then stole a bunch of other vehicles from their lot for
Wow.
vehicles that were being worked on and stuff. I was like, holy shit. It's absolutely crazy what people are doing out there.
My shop here is kind of between a suburbs, a country, southern part, and the city of Arlington, which is a big city with a lot of shops. Believe it or not, I'd rather like recently I started going to the southern part where there's a big fields, less shops, but I know with less those remote areas are safer,
Mm-hmm.
less competition, and even the shops over there, they appreciate you when you show up.
Yep. I 100% agree with that. And like, there's some guys that run shops out of their pole barns up here. I'd say there's quite a few because it's so spread out. It's so a low population when you go north where I'm at. But they're awesome people and they're doing great work. And like you say, they appreciate you because they don't have a whole lot of other options. There's
Yeah.
not a ton of dealers around. There's not a bunch of other mobile guys rolling around. So there's actually some really good relationships with those guys running, just small time shop. But I mean, they know what they're doing. So I got no problem working with them.
Yeah. So yeah, when I came here, um, I went to visit a friend who used to live in Philadelphia. He's a mechanic, and I just wanted to say hi, spend some time. And he was like, "Oh, since you're here, we have this Lexus. We just put an engine in it, and it's not working." Like, okay, I cannot right now. I can come for it tomorrow. I had nothing to do. I was just sitting at home studying the city. I was going to the city hall, reading more about the laws of junkyard. So I'm like, yeah, why not? It's a buck. I can make money. So I went over there. It's the fuse that feeds all the injectors was blown. I'm like, okay, here's it. It's working now. It's like, okay, since you're here, we have this uh, Range Rover that we bought it from the auction. Da 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 da. Half of the engine is missing in the trunk. I don't know. I'm like, okay, what do you want me to do with it? Like, spend some time. I'm like, okay. And I fixed that for them. And they had another one with the airbag. I fixed that for them. And I never intended to do what I'm doing right now, honestly. I
Okay.
just wanted to stick to my plan, I wanted to open a junkyard. It doesn't even have to junkyard. You can open a little store and start dismantling vehicles. And if you're smart enough, know where to sell the parts, you'll be able to grow from there. That was my plan. But like all I know, all of a sudden, people started calling me from nowhere. Like, hey, we heard you fix cars. We have this problem, this electric problem. Okay, I was like, okay, I have nothing to do. Let me go see what's going on with it. And it started like that. I'm like, what? Am I doing this now? Nothing
Just
wrong with it. I mean, I love it.
drags you in.
I love it. But the problem is, I loved electronics when I was a kid.
Hmm.
That was my dream to have a degree in electric and electronics. It didn't happen for many reasons. But right now I have a family. I have a wife and three kids. And I cannot just chase my dreams. I am responsible for other people, so I have to put them in front of me when I make decisions.
Hmm.
And I saw what I'm doing or what the people are calling me for. It's making money. I mean, I wanted to open a junkyard to make money and secure my kids' future. But if what I love to do is making money and can secure their future, yeah, why not? That's why I never wanted to come here and open my company. You understand what I'm saying? My goal
Sure.
was make money and buy a house, make him live
Hmm.
in a good environment. That was my goal. So I started doing it, and people started calling me. But again, I have a little experience. I used to fix my cars and my friends and some other mechanics' cars. I never went to training. I never went to school for it. I studied engineering for 2 years, but that had nothing to do with cars. It was I know what's a Ohm's law. I know the laws. I went to school. I graduated high school. I have a degree in translation that has nothing to do with cars. So that was kind of obstacle for me. Like I wanted to do it, but at the same time, I know those are big responsibility. Those cars, people's cars. I don't want to go guessing.
Right.
So what I started doing, of course, I didn't do any company. I didn't have any business card. It was just my phone number being spread somehow. I don't know how. So what I started doing, my last job was in Philadelphia. My salary, I was like, okay, so I have to make this much a day. If I can
Hmm.
make it doing easy stuff like wiring repair, and then learn while I go, I can probably expand my knowledge. I can take hard jobs and leave them to the end of the month when I achieve my goals. So I have like
Okay.
yeah, I have a number. If I make that number, I will go to do hard cases. And that's what I did. I used to work two,
That's
three,
smart.
2, 3 days on a car. I swear, 2, 3 days on a car without solving the problem. But during those 2, 3 days, you don't know how many videos I watch. You don't know how many PDFs I download. You don't know how many things I do. And I do it carefully because at the end of the day, those are vehicles that I supposed to fix, not ruin. Nowadays I go to vehicles that probably a person like me before, like the past Ali, went to and screwed so much, and I come to clean up after him.
Yeah.
I know I did it a couple of times, but I was trying to avoid doing it. And when I hit a roadblock, I just say, "Hey man, I'm sorry I couldn't fix it. Hopefully I can help you the next one." And
Hmm.
just leave without getting paid for, I don't know how many hours I used to do in every one of them. Sometimes I succeed, and it's a joy for me because I learned so much.
Yep.
And so mostly people call for Diag. They don't give you easy stuff; they give you hard stuff.
Right.
And some months I wasn't even making my goals. So, but at the same time, I want to learn. I cannot just go do headlights and like stupid stuff that's not gonna take me nowhere.
Yep.
But by time I was achieving my goals and I was learning, and so I can say that my success rate started going up. I started seeing that at the end of the month I was making money, extra money.
Hmm.
So I was hitting a problem where I cannot finish a job because I don't do any programming. So I'm like, you know
Oh.
what? I think it's time to invest in some programming equipments. That's when I had my wife's school laptop. She wasn't using it because she took a break from school, so I took it and I used it as my programming laptop, and I bought a car deck.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and I started with the easy ones, Ford, Chevy. Toyota, Honda, and yeah, I never touched a Chrysler. Never touched, still don't touch a Mercedes.
Yeah, that's smart. That's
Yeah.
smart.
But and then after that, I had another obstacle. Now, of course, that programming gig, it got developed. Like right now, if you look at it from that car deck with my wife's laptop, right now
Hmm.
I have 5 laptops. I have every VCI for ever manufacturer except Century,
Okay.
and a lot of them multiple. I have like the Ford. I have all 3 Fords, one, two, three.
Nice.
GM, I have two. Volvo, I have all of them. Um, So I started making money and buying more VCIs, making money, and then I go yearly instead of by VIN.
Sure.
But again, I had another obstacle, which was the keys. Some jobs I couldn't finish because I wasn't doing keys. So that's when I bought the 608. 608 was so helpful in doing programming keys.
Right.
But
Yeah, that's a heck of a tool for that.
look at it this way. I am still on a journey. Uh, what was it? Last month I bought my first key machine. I haven't used it yet, but right now
What
I do.
what kind did you get?
The Dolphin,
Oh,
uh,
nice.
version 2, I think, or I forgot the model, but they had a sale on it, so I jumped on it right away.
Nice. Yeah, you'll like it. I have the older one, but it's been a fantastic little tool for me for what I need. It's knocked it out of the park with very little obstacles.
How was the battery
And
life on it?
it's pretty good. Now, I say that as like I'll maybe do at the most 4 or 5 keys in a day because it's not the main part of my business. And but it holds up just fine. I have it so it gets plugged in every night, but I've never had it run out of battery. So
Yeah, that's not bad.
yeah, it's been really good. And like I say, usually when something doesn't work, it's operator error as opposed to something wrong with the actual machine. But the
Yeah,
interface is really nice, and it it's
yeah,
been a
it's
great
easy. Yeah,
addition.
yeah. I watched some videos on it, and I was able to calibrate it. I was gonna actually buy 2 keys for my van, and I have 2 vans. I wanted to make duplicates for those just to, try them out.
What kind of vans you got?
I got a 15 Ford Transit Connect and 2024 Transit Connect.
Okay, are those the
Yeah.
Tibby style keys?
The 2020 is the flip, the one looked like the Mustang one,
Oh, okay.
and the 15 is the model before, like the is it? I think it's a 4 button key. Actually, it's right
Okay.
next to me. Yeah, it's a 4 button key.
It doesn't look like the old Jaguar style keys with
No,
the.
no, no, no.
Okay.
That's
All
the
right.
first generation of the Ford
Yeah.
Transit Connect.
That's what
That's
I
the
have.
that's one of the reasons why I didn't buy that van.
Yeah. I bought the Tibby jaw for it, and I have two of those connects, and it's the only Tibby keys that I've actually made with it, and I'm kind of glad because that is a ridiculous process to cut one of those keys. And I had looked to see what a locksmith would charge for a Tibby key, and it's like 300 some dollars for one key. I was like, really? But then I went through the process. I'm like, oh, I get
Oh,
it now.
yeah.
But yeah, that's really cool, man. That's a heck of a story. I I have a lot of respect for anybody who goes to another country. Obviously, I mean, you had the advantage of speaking the language, but still, just coming across the world to a completely different place and bringing your family with. I mean, when you left Iraq, did you still have family that stayed over there
Oh
once you
yeah.
left, or I would imagine you still have family now that lives
Yeah,
there, or
yeah,
what?
my whole family over there. But
Oh,
the problem they didn't everybody is attached to my mom, and my mom is
okay,
attached to her sisters. She didn't want to come here. I
okay,
don't blame
okay.
her. Life here sucks. It's so boring. It's routine kills. Okay, look at it this way. The other day, I visit every 3 years. Every time I have a baby, when they're like 1 year old, I go to Iraq. So my family, my mom, they see the baby.
Mm-hmm.
So the other day it was 4th of July. So we were doing nothing. I was like, you know what? I told my wife, you know what? Let's go out. Let's see some fireworks. Take the kids out.
Mm-hmm.
So I took them out, and we were riding at night. And my daughter said, "Oh, it feels like Iraq tonight."
Mm.
Because over there they used to go almost every night. My brother would take him out, go either eat something or do something or whatever. So life over there starts at night.
Oh, okay.
Here it's different. So that's why when my mom said no, I didn't want to push her to come here. The only reason why I wanted her here, honestly, because health insurance.
Mm.
Other
Okay.
than that, it's way better for her to stay over there with everybody.
How long of a flight is that?
Yeah. There's no straight flight. Two flights. One of them is 12 hours, 13 hours, and the other one is 2.5 hours, 3 hours. So probably 16 hours
Oh
in
man.
total. Yeah.
Wow.
I
I
don't
might
mind
be.
it. Like I'm used to it. I watch 2, 3 movies. Yeah, I love it. Kids too. My daughter the other day, she was like, "This is the best day ever because junk food and a TV for
Movies.
like 10 hours." So
Sure. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
Extended tablet time.
yeah, yeah.
Wow. Yeah, that's crazy. I might be going to Australia in the spring, and that will be, if I go, the longest flight by far that I've ever taken.
How many
So
hours is it gonna be?
I don't even know, but I've never been, the farthest I've been outside of the US is Mexico. So that's like from
That's
where
not
I'm at.
outside the. That's not outside the state.
Right, right.
If you're in Texas, that's in the state.
Yeah. Um I think it was maybe 5 6 hour flight from where I'm at. That's the longest I've ever done. And I'm not a big flyer. I don't love it. And the older I get, the less I like it because I'm listening to all the mechanical things on the plane. I'm like, well, what if that CAN bus goes
Yeah.
down? What's gonna happen? But it's I was presented with an opportunity to go to Australia, and I'm gonna do it just because. And it's like, how often do you get a chance to go to another part of the world like that and experience it? So I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. One thing about automotive, the when I was a customer, we always looked at mechanics and mechanic shops, and they are the hero of the day. They are the ones that fix the car. They make the car from not running to cranking. Um, if I can go back in time, honestly, I would take every ASE certificate. I would go to every school possible to learn this industry. Unfortunately, I'm 43 years old. I have kids. I am planning to take uh, every training. I'm going to ASTE.
Oh,
I
nice.
went to the last two visions, and I was gonna the first year I was gonna go to Super Saturday because it was right there in Philadelphia, but they canceled it
Sure.
because of COVID.
Yeah.
So again, yeah, if I have a chance, like if I can go back in time, I would definitely go if I'm here in the States, because back in Iraq, the system is different. Here you can go and then you can pay your tuition later. You can take a loan. Over there was no loan either. You pay up front or that's it. So yeah, I would definitely go to school. I would definitely take those certificates. Yeah,
What
sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, go ahead. You can finish.
No, no, I say I envy people that had the time to spend on the academic part of this industry. I don't.
Yeah, and
That's
the
why I know a lot of friends are going to be listening to this podcast. So if you hear me or see me writing something stupid in one of these groups. So I apologize up front, I'm trying my best to catch up with everybody, but I can say I'm glad, I'm lucky that I'm surrounded by really smart people.
Yeah. Oh, that's definitely a key part of it for myself for sure, and a lot of other people is having that strong network to support because otherwise, boy, you're gonna hit so many roadblocks and not know what to do or
Definitely, yeah. I
yeah.
appreciate everybody telling me, no, that's wrong. I'm not in those groups, so I can't get a like smiley or a heart smiley on a picture or on a comment. No, I want people to correct me all the time because without correcting me, I wouldn't be what I am right now, honestly.
Yeah, I've always found it's really interesting because I've been doing this as a career since I started. I mean, I was already fixing cars in high school, and then as soon as I got out, and so I've been around this a long time, and I've always found it really interesting the people who can just hop in and within a couple of years, they're up to speed and they're doing really impressive things throughout the industry. And I've met a handful, or more than a handful, a number of people over the years that were like that. I'll never forget one guy I worked with at a shop. I was probably about 5, 6 years in, and I was hitting my stride as a tech. And he was an accountant, like that was his job
Hmm.
for his whole career. And then he had some life changes and whatever, and he ended up working at this shop. It's just he had to take a job and this and that, and I was kind of tasked with helping him. You know, here's how the tires come off, here's all the brakes work, sort of thing. Just real basic stuff. But man, this guy, he picked it up like that, and he just ran with it. He was a really good tech within a short period of time, and that's not everybody. Like I've seen the opposite too, where people do this for years and years and years and still really like it doesn't come naturally. They struggle with it. Um, but the people that can pick it up and just go with it, that's really impressive to me. And I mean, like what you're saying,
You
within just a
probably
few
look,
years.
you are probably on the other side. You are the person that uh, spent blood and sweat on it, and you're
It
looking at.
takes me a really long time to learn something. That's the problem.
No, 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 no. Listen, but on this side, on like from a person that started, technically, I've been in business for 2 years. If you want to
Hmm.
look at it, honestly, I've been in business for 2 years, but it will be always not the same. Always not the same to me. When I see these 30 years old, 35, 40, whatever, younger than me, they have achieved what it is. No matter what I do, it will not feel the same as them. That's just probably just my feeling. I don't know. And it is true. It is true. Like when you spend 10 years in, you cannot compare somebody that spent 2 years to 10 years in a business. We had a joke about it the other day. I call them, I'm a non-combat soldier.
Okay.
You guys are the real soldiers that went to training camps and went to the battle and got shot and got wounded and uh, I'm just a guy that just got hired 2 years ago. I haven't seen a battle yet. I have been in battles, but
Hmm.
they're not as long as your battles. You understand what I'm saying?
Right. But I mean, you're making it work and you have every VCI for every car, right? Like just
That doesn't mean anything. Everybody with money can. By the way, I started with $5,000.
well, that's what I'm saying is like you made it work and you're making it work, and that's really impressive to me for anybody that can do that. And I mean, here's the thing for me personally, no matter how long I do this, whatever I venture into next, I have that like imposter syndrome. Like, yeah, what am I doing here? Like, I'm not a business owner. What the heck am I doing? And I do have to remind myself, like, okay, well, you're doing it, so I guess you are a business owner. But
Yeah.
I get that imposter feeling all the time on new things that I'm venturing into. I don't know if that's normal for everybody, but it sure is for me.
I listen to your comment the other day in one of your podcasts. I'm trying to catch up, by the way. I haven't listened to all of them, but um, you were talking about, the time when you bought the van, how the feeling is different, how you felt. You know what? Yeah, it's happening. I can, I see the company is forming, the shape of a company is forming. It's different when you buy the first van. It's different. I started with again, my wife's Honda Civic, 2016 Honda Civic, the trunk. But it
Mm-hmm.
was different when you buy the van. It was different when you sign the first lease. It was different when you hire somebody. It's
Yeah.
always different. It's good different.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. It is. It's really cool to see it grow and expand, and it's lots of hard work, but it is a really cool feeling. I was just mentioning I hired a guy to help me with like the phones and the books and scheduling and stuff like that. But we got three of us now, and so we had
It's a
lunch
team,
the other
yeah.
day. Yeah, I was like, "This is a team. Yeah, let's go team."
Although in English two is a team, in Arabic two is not a team.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
interesting.
yeah. In Arabic two is a duel. Two.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay,
but you guys are a team now.
yeah, yeah. The
Yeah,
the three of us.
what you guys are doing, what other people, I was, if you want to be smart, just surround yourself by smart people. So if you want to be successful, surround yourself by successful people. So when I see your success is my success, I know when I'm around you, when I'm around X and Y and Z. I don't want to mention any names. I don't want to get any upset like, "Oh, you forgot about me." No, everybody is successful to me. I'm the bottom of the list. This is how I look at it, honestly. I'm at the bottom of the list, and I want to achieve everything that the people on, above me achieved. That's how I look at it.
Yeah, seeing others do something, make improvements or make progress or moves within, whatever their business or whatever they're doing, it's inspiring. And I know I can point to a number of examples where I probably either wouldn't have done something in my business, or it would have taken me a lot longer to like build up the courage to do something if I hadn't seen one of you guys do
Other
it.
people, yeah, you're right. You're
Yeah.
right.
And I'm just like, oh, okay. Like, you bought that shop and you're doing ADAS calibrations in that. Like, that's really cool. Now I'm going to start thinking about something like that. And it's so inspiring to see other people that you interact with on a regular basis be successful. So that's a key part of it, I think, is getting that group of people
You have,
together. And
I think in business you have to have guts. You
yeah,
have to have guts. You have to, get fear away. Your money can't have a shy money. If your money is gonna be shy, I don't think you're gonna make it. Or you're gonna be questioning your whole life. You'll be going, should I spend that money? Should I rented that? Should I do?
mm-hmm,
No,
mm-hmm,
no. You have to go for it. What it is, whatever it is. You have to
yep.
go for it. You have to buy it. Believe it or not, uh, like the first year. I didn't even believe myself when I looked at the end of the year and I spent 140K
Right.
on what? One person, one vehicle, no shop, 140K. What was I doing? You know? Yeah,
Yeah.
you have to in this business you have to spend to get.
Yeah. My spending habits for the business are wildly different than my personal life. I'm
Yeah, me
I'm
too.
fairly conservative when it comes to my personal finances, but it's been especially, I mean, it's been growing for me the last few years, but it's been so different, the spending there, because it's like, okay, do I need this? Am I getting calls about this? All right, let's buy it. And then there's a lot of purchases where I'm just kind of like, just like, right, let's do it. Let's get it ordered. And then once I have that tool and I'm actually using it, it's like I'm never looking back. Like, this is part of my business now. I need this.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
required to
That's how
do
I
my
look
daily
at it. Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
Um, and so there's a little bit of thought that obviously should go into it. Like, uh, you know, can I make money with this? But I think it's relatively easy to figure that out. And if the answer is yes, okay, well, why not? Let's get it coming. Let's make it happen.
See, this is how I look at it. With the spread of internet, YouTube, training, um, groups, Facebook groups, or any other social media groups. Um, it's right now you have to be the person that can do it. It's not a matter of making money or not at this moment, especially the first years of your business. You have to make your goal that I'm the person that can do it. I'm the
Mm-hmm.
person with Flex, with IO, with the KTech, with the KES, with the, did I mention IO? Yes, I did. With the ACDP. What else? I'm the person that can do it.
Yep.
And then money will come. Money will come.
Mm-hmm.
Just have this goal. I'm the person that can do it.
Yep.
Like right now, when I go to new shops, the other day was my first day go and hand cards in 2 years. And so when I go inside, I'm like, I know people they don't like strangers. They don't like, hey, why are you talking to me, man? Just make it short. Like, so I'm trying to make it as short as possible, but then drag them into an interesting conversation to them as a business owners. So I always start, I don't tell them I do Ford, Chevy, whatever. No, I tell them basically I do everything the dealer does and I do everything the dealer doesn't do. 85% of them like, what do you mean? They wanted me to say more. So now I got their interest now.
Okay.
Okay, I'm like, and then I explain to them what everything the dealer does. I do ADAS calibration program and whatnot. I use um, OE tooling and software, not Chinese.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, I do everything that the dealer doesn't do. And the reason why they don't want to do it because they want to sell you a part. I don't want to sell you a part. I just want to finish the job. I just want to fix the car for you. So if you have a used module, you cannot find one, a new one, back order, just call me. This is my business card. You know.
That's perfect.
So yeah, I'm the person that does it. You know.
Yeah, and then your name gets spread around like crazy, like you were saying. Just all of a sudden, everybody's got your number, and hey, I heard you helped out so and so, with this problem. I've got that problem too, or I've got another problem. And the more that you're able to do, the more that's going to happen. I've said before, I've done very little marketing for my business. It's just been word of mouth of, yeah, hey, Sean, I'll take care of this. And like you said, part of that is getting that tool that's going to do maybe that one job, right?
Yeah,
That one used module job. And that's why I bought this relatively expensive tool, but it gets me in the door with a place, right? Like they've called, 4 other places. They can't clone this module. They can't get this used CCM to work in this whatever. Now I can do it and put on a friendly face and all that stuff. But then maybe they'll call me for that easy one. They just need to get knocked out. Like, oh, hey, okay,
yeah,
we can get Sean in here. And then you could start. I mean, like GM, Ford, Chrysler, Nissan, those are my big money makers for programming. And
correct.
most of that stuff that I do, some of it's, there's always the oddball, but most of it's very straightforward. But a lot of those shops I got in the door by a specialty job, something that's a little unique, or cloning that wind module over, or
Yeah,
doing something that, like you say, the dealer or
others
other people
failed.
aren't
Yeah,
able to do.
or the
Yep.
dealer. Yeah, yeah. It's a package. I think it's a package. The core of it, if is if you can do it or not. That's the core of it. But if
Mm-hmm.
you of course, other things like you have to be nice to people, your prices has to be reasonable.
Yep.
You have to answer phone calls. You have to, uh, of course, at the
Show up
same
on
time,
time.
yeah, show up on time. Um, um, be firm on your answers. Be confident on your information that you provide.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, but again, the main thing is if you can do the job. Because if you can't, the other stuff is secondary. The main thing is
Right.
if you can do the job.
Yeah, you can be the friendliest person around
Yeah,
with the
yeah,
best
you're right. Yeah,
prices,
but
but
the
if you
car didn't
can't,
run.
no, they're not calling you again.
Yeah. But I've seen shops that fired people fired technicians or mobile people just because they're assholes, you know?
Oh yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah,
I think some guys are so good at what they do and they know it that they're kind of assholes to people just because they know they can be. And I mean, hey, you do whatever is right for you. I've always taken the approach of as long as the shop's treating me with respect, I'm going to do the same for them.
same thing, yeah.
And it's that part of it has worked out really well for me, I believe, too. Just, forming some good relationships. Of course, you got to set up boundaries, and
Yeah, keep
and
it
like you
business.
say,
Keep it
be
business.
firm. Yeah, exactly. But just put in some friendliness and respect in there, which I don't believe is that difficult of a thing to do. And of course, yeah, you get some assholes out there, right? They own shops too, and so then it's on you to make a decision. Do I want to keep working with this person? But I don't know. In my
You know,
experience, it's not the majority. The majority for me, and maybe I'm just lucky. It's been great relationships with shops.
you know what I also felt. I don't know. This is my own opinion, but I think the joker on what we do is honesty. If 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 you're as a diagnostician or electrician, whatever you want to call it, if you're honest with the shop, you're honest with the customer, that plays a big role. Even sometimes, many times, they will forgive you even if you cannot fix it. You'll be like, you know what, don't worry about it, man. We just send it to we just give it back to the customer. We just send it to the dealer, whatever. But honestly is the one because this is how it is. If you taking your car to a mechanic shop to change the engine or to change an alternator, I mean, you're gonna see it physically that they change the engine or change the alternator. With electric, it's not like that. I know I record videos, I take pictures as many as possible to prove what I'm billing for,
Yep.
but it's not like when they see a body shop fixed a fender or a mechanic change the brakes. The electric
Sure.
part is different. It's,
Hmm.
no matter what you show them, like, hey, look, those are your data PIDs before and those are data PIDs after.
Yeah.
That's not the same as when a mechanic or a body shop does something. So to them, if you're honest, even if you did a mistake, or if you're honest, like let's say for example, like uh, day before yesterday, I went to that was my second visit to a 19, what was this? GMC Sierra, 19 GMC Sierra. And I had called a transfer case control module and the DC to DC transformer. So they got them. They called me. I went over there and I found out that the DC to DC transformer doesn't need programming.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a plug and play, just the other one.
Gotcha.
So I charge them for one programming, and there was a lot of diag with it the first visit. So the brother was complaining a little bit about the bill. Now his other brother that I deal with, I was like, look, your brother has to look at the whole picture. He doesn't have to look at just the number. You cannot just look at the number because how many modules I was supposed to program for you? He said two. I was like, look at the invoice, see how many modules I programmed for you. It's like, oh, one. Why? What's the other? The other one didn't need. So it's a package. You cannot just look at your part of the deal. It's a
Yep.
package. That's
Yep.
that's how it is. I know there's people. It's trust. Trust get built. You don't get people don't trust you in one day or one night. No.
Yeah.
And of
And
course, correct decisions will build that trust quickly.
yeah, right. Especially when it comes to like diagnostic stuff. Obviously, if you make the right calls over and over again, you can build that trust up. But yeah, with something like programming, it's almost mysterious to the person that's not doing it or the person that doesn't understand it. Like Sean's just there with a laptop. Is he actually doing anything? Is he just on Facebook the whole time? We don't know, right? And so, like you say, yeah, I've run into situations like, oh yeah, this module didn't need programming, or this module didn't need an update or whatever. And I try to be as honest with shops as I can. And So I'm charging a show up fee now for stuff like that. As long as it wasn't me that told them that it
Yeah,
needed that, if,
yeah.
if they're requesting it and that situation, but it's not my full, service fee, for programming a module. And that, that adds up. What I have found has been actually a little bit challenging is, the guy that's working for me, it was just me for the first, I don't know, three-ish, four-ish years doing it.
Okay.
And then he hops in, and so I'm sending him to these places where it's just been Sean every single time, and they're very like hesitant and suspicious of what Steve has to say, especially for
Correct.
Diag. And I had one shop that would call me every time after he'd program. There's just like GM transmissions, and then he'd call me and be like, "Are you sure Steve did it right?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm sure Steve did it right." I was like, "Your screenshots are in your invoice and everything. I showed him how to do it and this," and they were
They
very,
will
very
always doubt
suspicious of
him. They
him.
will always doubt him.
Right, right. So, well, it's hopefully it's something where he can, and I think he is building that trust up with shops too. But I found that pretty interesting when
They
he
will trust.
started
No,
out.
they will get to a point to trust him, but they will not trust a 1 year person the same
Yeah,
level they trust a 4 year person. That's what I'm saying.
right. Yep, yep.
Yeah,
That's normal, I suppose. But
it is. Yeah. So when you rent in a shop,
I don't know. I don't know. I'd have to look around and see what's available, what the cost is for me.
it doesn't
Um,
have to be crazy. Like I got 1,500 square feet. My rent is 1,400.
hmm. Yeah, that's not bad at all, actually.
Oh,
It would be nice. Here's the one thing it would be really nice for is I want a bigger van, and nothing bigger would fit into my garage right now. The Transit Connect is as tall as it can be, and I can't have it outside at night in the wintertime. So so having a shop to park it at, that would be helpful
that
for
would be
sure.
yeah. That would be yeah. But so again, the shop is gonna have to come before the van.
Yeah, right, right. Start doing those ADAS calibrations to pay for the van.
Yeah, but believe me, the shop will be a big plus. I mean, if I have to choose between a big van and a shop is definitely an improvement to the business.
Sure. It was Fonslow who was saying it's all just one big cycle, right? You start out as a tech in a shop and you're doing oil changes and you work your way up and you eventually quit and you get a mobile business and you get a van
And then you
and
go
then
to a shop.
you come back to the shop and then all of a sudden you're advertising oil changes to everybody.
Hey, whatever makes the money. If you have somebody to do it.
Yep, yep, exactly.
Look at it this way. I mean, the oil changes and the inspections, those are, a bait. Who
Hmm.
makes money from oil change?
Yeah,
But
the loss
they're
leaders
the
for
bait.
sure.
They're the bait. I mean, honestly, if I had a shop, instead of making, I'll probably come up with some kind of subscription for half at a price.
Mm.
Subscription for customers for half at a price oil change. Like whatever oil change cost, I will do it for half at a price, as long as you come do it here.
Okay, okay.
Then when they come, I punch the VIN number and all data. I see what's uh, if any TSBs or recalls. I just print it, give it to them. If I make one job out of these lists, I'm doubling my loss of that half of the oil change or whatever.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, the only problem is that then you get all the riffraff that's bottom dollar just trying to get the cheapest oil change possible.
No, no. No, I mean, you know what I mean. It doesn't work like that.
Yeah. Well, and that I said if I never do another set of tires again, it'll be too soon. So there's no way I would have a tire machine. Absolutely not. I worked at Firestone for a long time and yeah, I don't miss the wrenching. I really don't. I'll fix something here,
Really?
on my van every once in a while or a family member's vehicle. And it's like, oh, it's kind of nice to get my hands dirty, but I'm like, I don't really miss it. I don't know. I did so much of it. I'd work Firestone for, 8 to 10 hours and I go home and I'd work on side work stuff at my house, and I think I just burnt myself out on the mechanical side of stuff. So,
I always had two jobs um, from high school, not high school, from first year of college till 2009 when I came to the States.
hmm.
I always had two jobs. I only see my family half a day in a week. That's when I go give my mom money, and she give me a little sugar tea, and so I can make dinner at night in my second job at night. Yeah, so I gave
Yeah, you
myself
know
a
the
little break.
feeling.
I gave myself a break too. Yeah, I've been
Yeah,
raised in a family since I was in college, so yeah, it's been fun. My life been fun. So
that's good.
whatever's going on here, that's just a joke, you know. Honestly,
Yeah, the real stuff is at home. Yeah.
yeah. Things got ugly when I started with the troops because now I had to stop going home. If I want to see my family, it's either gonna have to be at my grandpa's house or at a restaurant because I don't want to put him in danger. Which I already did because I got my brother, my younger brother, I got him a job as a security guard, and my older brother was you can call him a handyman, the handyman of a whole base for Americans.
Okay.
So both of them were involved. My cousin was involved. My cousins, they were doing the one that got killed, he was a driver,
Mm.
and the others, they had a contract to do the cell phone towers back then. So yeah, it was fun. I had two AK-47s and three pistols. One of them was the smallest one was 7 millimeter. It was locked and loaded, and my car, the airbag module, the driver airbag, the guts, I had it out, and the two screws in the back, I had them
Uh,
off, and
okay.
it would still have two clips on the side. Like when you push it, it will still hold without putting the screws. And again, I had the guts out, and I had the 7 millimeter behind the airbag module,
Oh wow.
behind the airbag, the steering wheel airbag. Sorry,
How
um,
old are you at this time?
that was uh, 2000 and I'd say six and up, five and up, 25.
Okay. Okay. Dang, that's crazy. It's just such a different life than that what I experienced. I can't imagine. Like,
Yeah, but it ended well. Like right
yeah.
now, okay, let me put it this way. You see how let's say our field, for example, you know, when a tech is so involved in a car and he's like lost, there's a problem, big problem in the car, and you know, he had to take a break from it, go back home, you know, do a little more studying about it, go back next day to the shop and work on it more, and now he found it, you know, how happy he is.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let me tell you my happiest moments in life. That's uh when I was with the anti-terrorism unit. I had to stand in front of what they call an eagle eye, in front of a big screen. We had people in the street, and we were like, let's say, the airplane, the eyes were chasing a suspect or
Okay.
a person wanted, and the people in the street, the you know, our friends in the street, when they catch him, when they capture him, and then when you come to him, to know that your reports showing that this person was planning to do a suicide attack in a market full of women and kids and people in general, you know,
Wow.
that's yeah, exactly. You see the feeling? You know, you know you're like you were a part of this.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
Wow.
you were honestly, and it happened so many times. Either like he was planning to blow himself in a market or go kill Americans or do this or do that, whatever it is, he's a terrorist, you know? And yeah, so when you get to that level of joy, like happiness, joy that you was a part of that,
Yeah.
after that, there's no car fixing is gonna get you excited. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah. That crank no start is not quite the same.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. That's wild. That's so cool, man. I really appreciate you sharing your story on here. That's pretty cool stuff.
Absolutely, man. I'm a big fan of your podcast, and
Thank you.
I really hesitated to come here because I know I probably disappointed a lot of people. I didn't give no technical information or no advices or, but that's me. I'm the bottom of the list.
Well, I don't think so, and yeah, that's the thing is that's not what it's all about. Is the technical stuff, right? Like we're humans too, all of us doing this stuff, and everybody's got their own background and story and experiences they bring to it, and it's pretty cool just to talk to somebody and hear about everything they've done to get to where they're at, like how all the different walks of life, and we're all ended up doing something similar. It's pretty crazy. So I really appreciate it you sharing here.
I appreciate you having me.
All right, that's going to do it for today's episode. Thank you so much for Ali for joining me. I really appreciate that. I hope you enjoyed that interview. Also like to thank all the listeners out there and all the feedback I get on the show. Always appreciate that. So thank you. But with that all out of the way, let's get out there, start fixing the world one car at a time.